Hi students, welcome to Edmo channel. So I'm here to teach you grammar, especially for the second PUC students. As you are approaching for your examination, you will be having definitely 6-mark question on the topic of reported speech. Along with that, you will be having even voices, active voice and passive voice. So many of you have been asking me in order to teach this active voice, passive voice as well as reported speech. Today I am thinking of teaching you reported speech as well as active voice, passive voice. Now first and foremost, what do you mean by voices? Voices. Voices means it is nothing but the active voice and passive voice, both together we call it as voices. Active voice and passive voice. Now why do we call this active voice as active voice? It is because of the subject is active in active voice. For example, Pawan is playing cricket. Now, who is playing cricket? Pawan. What is subject over here? Pawan. How do we come to know about subject? First we need to discuss about the verb. We need to understand what is verb and we need to find out verb in a sentence. Now ask a question to this particular verb. Who is playing? Pawan is playing. Now Pawan becomes subject. What Pawan doing? He is playing cricket. Cricket becomes object. When we speak about active voice, subject is active and subject does something to the object. So that is why it is called as active voice. Now when we speak about passive voice, what is this passive voice? Passive voice means now when there is a subject which is completely passive, we call it as passive voice. Now for example, cricket is being played by Pawan. Now when we speak about Pawan, Pawan becomes here subject at the end. Now subject and object is being completely replaced. Object becomes subject, subject becomes object over here. Now cricket is the subject over here. Something is being done by Pawan. Pawan plays cricket. So cricket is not playing Pawan. So it is Pawan who is playing cricket. So here the subject is completely passive. Subject is not doing anything, so because of that reason it is called as passive voice. So this is the difference between active voice and passive voice. In active voice, the subject is active, and in passive voice, subject is completely passive. I hope you have understood the difference between both subject and object as well as active voice and passive voice. Now we shall move on to some of the examples with which we can understand still more clearly what is this active voice and passive voice, and then we shall move on to the different rules that we have for changing active voice to passive voice. Now let's say there is a person called Sandeep. Sandeep, he likes to play football. Now, Sandeep plays football. Sandeep plays football. Now, which is the tense? Here we are speaking about simple present tense. And one more thing we need to understand in terms of active voice and passive voice, we cannot change the tenses. We have to retain the tense. Now, since it is in simple present tense, we have to retain the tense. We have to put. Now, for example, what is subject over here? Let us ask a question. Who plays football? Sandeep plays football. Now Sandeep becomes subject, football becomes object. How do we get the object? What is being played by Sandeep? Football. So because of that reason this becomes an object. Now let us put football first. Football. Now here who is playing the football? It is by Sandeep. At the beginning this I told you, so we will be changing subject to object, object becomes subject. So this is what I have done just now. So I have changed object to subject, subject to object. Now we need to understand which is a tense, plays, simple present tense. Why yes is being added? I play, you play, we play, they play, but when it comes he, she, it, which is third person singular, because of that reason we add an s in order to make this into a singular verb because of subject verb agreement. You all know what do you mean by subject verb agreement. In brief, subject verb agreement is a concept wherein if subject is singular, object and the verb should be singular. So this particular concept, subject if it is plural, then the verb should be plural. This particular concept we call it as subject verb agreement. Now here we are making this into yes in order to make it singular. Sandeep is singular person, a single person. Because of that reason Sandeep plays football. We will never say Sandeep play football. Do you understand? Now football is played by Sandeep. Why is played? Because it is simple present tense. And one more thing you need to understand is always the verb should be, the main verb should be in V3 form. So because of that reason, in order to retain this particular tense, we are saying football is played by Sandeep. I hope you have understood this particular part. Now, when we speak about present continuous tense, let us take the same person, Sandeep. Sandeep is playing football. Now, again we are changing it to subject into object, object into subject. Football and by Sandeep. This is what the basic step that we are required to do in active voice to passive voice. Football. Now, look at here. Is playing. Is playing is present continuous tense. Now, how do we change this into passive voice? Football is being played. Why being played? Now, is playing, this ing form, which is nothing but the gerund form or continuous form or progressive form. So this has to be retained over here, and this I have told you, always the main verb remains V3 form of the verb. What do you mean by V3 form of the verb? We have till V5. V1 that is present form of the verb, V2 is past form of the verb, V3 becomes past participle form of the verb, V4 becomes ing, that is gerund form of the verb, then V5 becomes this place when we add es or es in order to make it as a singular because of third person singular. So these are the V, that is V nothing but verb. Verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4, verb 5. So these are the V5 forms I have already spoken to you. Now, since here ing form is there or progressive form is there, we need to retain this tense. Because of that reason, we will be writing being. Being shows that we are keeping this particular tense by using being. So that is why football is being played by Sandeep. Is it clear? Okay. Now, next tense, what we are going to speak about is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. Now, what is this present perfect tense? How do we understand present perfect tense? Now, many of you have asked me, what do you mean by present perfect tense? Present perfect tense is a tense which indicates the immediate past or the completion of the work at the immediate past. For example, I have come to take the class. Just now I have arrived. It doesn't mean that I have come 1 year back or 1 month back, one hour back. So it can be just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour. So such kind of terms we call it as immediate past. So that we express in terms of present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. So let us speak about the same person, Sandeep. Has played football. Now listen students, I am taking same example so that it may be useful for you and it will be easily understood by you. So because of that reason I am just giving you the same kind of example but the same person and the same verb, that is played and Sandeep. Sandeep has played football. Now again the same formula, football by Sandeep. Now Sandeep has played football. Now has played, what kind of tense? Has played, present perfect tense. So when there is present perfect tense, what will happen? Sandeep has played football. Football has been played. Has been played by Sandeep. Look at here, always this remains in V3 for the verb. So I have told you this is a mandatory, this is obligatory, this has to be in this particular form. There is no other go, so it has to be in V3 form of the verb. So please make sure that you always write the verb whenever you write in passive voice into V3 form of the verb. What do you mean by V3? Past participle form of the verb. So this becomes football has been played by Sandeep. Did you understand? Now, you may ask a question. Can we go beyond this? That is, Sandeep has been played football. No, we cannot change that. So this is the limitation of active voice and passive voice. We can change up to perfect tense. Whether it is simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense, we can change. Present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, we can change. Present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. Now, why can't we change it to when it comes to present perfect continuous tense? Because this is nothing but present perfect continuous tense that we are speaking about. So because of that reason, we will not be able to change whenever this particular tense is being already given in active voice. So because of that reason, we will be having a limitation of till present perfect tense. So when present perfect tense is given, so we will be changing it to present perfect continuous tense, but only thing is here we will be keeping as V3 instead of ing form. I hope you have understood this particular teaching of mine and the voices in depth. Now, in case if you have any kind of doubts in regarding voices, you can always comment me and I will make sure that I will make a class on this particular topic, whichever you have a problem with. So please do subscribe my channel, like my channel and share my channel if you feel it is worth sharing, worth subscribing and worth sharing with others. Let us learn together, let us shine and let us be completely a grammarholic. So this is my channel and I bid you all a happy good night. Thank you. Thank you one and all.